Welcome to Taking Over the Photo Pit, a music photography podcast held by yours truly, Boston Schultz. And I started this podcast to highlight and amplify women and non-binary voices in the music industry and have a platform for them to tell their stories. And today is super exciting because I'm sitting down with Talia Farber, who is also in Los Angeles like me, but sadly I've never been able to share the photo pit with her. And one of the reasons I wanted to sit down and talk to her is because she works at the Whisky Go-Go, which is a world famous venue, and just to have her background explanation of how she got that job, what it's done with her music career, what she's doing, how she's growing her career moving forward, I thought that it'd be great advice and great information for everyone listening. So we're just going to kick it right into this interview, but we had a fun one just sitting down and chatting about her experience. So we're just going to kick it on over to that interview. Hi, Talia. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's COVID still when we're doing this podcast. I don't know how long I'm going to keep saying it's COVID time still, but it is definitely a weird time, and I love doing these podcasts and hearing about how you are making the most of it. But before we jump into all of that, can we start out by you introducing yourself, how you got into music photography, what you do, all of the good stuff?
All right, my name's Talia Farber. I'm located in LA. I started photography, I want to say maybe 11 years ago.
Wow.
It all started kind of in high school. I used to go to this place called the Cobalt Cafe. Rest in peace. Not there anymore. It's in Canoga Park. But I lived 5 minutes down the street from there, and it was my local venue, and I would be taking my camera with me and just shooting all the local bands and every band that came through, because it was just a hole-in-the-wall kind of place.
Nice.
You didn't need any kind of credentials to shoot, so eventually I started making a name for myself there, and I just kept going and going, getting into shows for free as long as I shot them and gave the promoter the photos to use. It was pretty cool. I was pretty young, so that was my way of concerts, because I wasn't really allowed to go to many concerts in Hollywood, because it was a little too far. My parents were just you can't do this and this and this. Later on I disobeyed them, but yeah, it was just a lot of fun, so I just started doing that from there. And honestly, I met, I don't know if you know High Wire Days, Ken Morton, but I met him there at the Cobalt. He would always be there, at every show, and he had this, crappy little point-and-shoot camera, and I'm like, hey, do you want to use my photos? I'm sure they're much better looking than yours, And then he got all excited and happy, and, he was like, oh my goodness, yeah, and that was kind of my start to it all, and I owe everything to that guy pretty much. So thanks to Ken Morton. He took a big help and chance leap on me, leap of faith, using my photos, and to this day he still uses some of them. So it's pretty cool that I've been shooting concerts since I was in high school. So yeah, and then it's gotten me to where I am today. Who knew photography could just pave the way for my future? Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. And we'll get into in a little bit, what you do now and, where your, I guess, journey has brought you. But, I kind of want to dig into a little bit more of, why. Why you got started. Because, a lot of people get into concerts and music photography just because we're look, we're going to all these concerts, so we might as well take photos. Is that what it was for you? Were you always interested in photography? Why did music and then photography merge, or did it all start out?
Okay, well, so I wasn't always into photography. I've always been the artist type of person. I used to do drawing and painting, but I was kind of too much of like a perfectionist where I'd screw up the paper so much from erasing and all that.
Mm.
And then I kind of was gifted a camera one day, and I just kind of picked up the camera and I fell in love with it. And then I love music, so I was just like, I wanted a way to be closer to music because I've never been able like to play any music because I'm not a good singer. I have a lot of wrist problems, so I can't really do many instruments that I would want to play. You know, like I want to play bass or guitar or drums, and my wrist wouldn't be able to handle that. So I was like, what's a way I can kind of compensate for that but still be involved in the music? My whole reasoning behind it was I wanted to get closer to it.
Nice.
Just being a fan wasn't enough for me. I wanted to be more than that. And it definitely, it started my more passion for music, because at that point I was just like developing like my taste of music and what I liked and what I listened to and wanted to be a part of, you know? So
got it.
that was pretty much that. With photography, it was way easier because, you know, I didn't have to screw up a paper. I would go into Lightroom and edit a photo how I'd like it, and then I could just go back a million times and do whatever I want to it and not screw the photo up kind of thing, you know? So that's also like the reasoning behind it. I was like, I need to figure out a better way to art, you know, basically. Yeah. So that was it. Yeah.
Very cool. I like that idea. Yeah, you can always hit the reset button when it comes to editing. You can, you know, deep dive into something and be like, I hate it, and then start over without like ruining the base piece of art, I guess.
Pretty much. It's awesome.
Very cool. Okay, so I have a few like quick fire questions that we'll go through, and then we'll kind of get into like what you do now, because I think that there's a few things I want to talk about. We're not going to give any spoilers away. But are you a Nikon, Canon, Sony, or other shooter?
I shoot on a Sony a6400. I actually was Team Nikon before that since like forever, but then I started working at this, I want to say, like, small production company, like, shooting weddings and doing video stuff there. And they had Sony cameras, and then that's, like, where I was like, okay, 4K.
Yeah.
You know? So then I was like, I fell in love with Sony.
Nice. And then describe your photography style in 3 words.
I like a lot of contrast. I like a lot of darkness. But I also like a lot of vibrancy and brightness. I don't know. I don't really have much of like a go-to style. I just kind of... My thing is, I don't have a certain set of like style of photos I edit. I like to edit them the way like that I feel like they need to look to my eye. It's kind of interesting, yeah.
I think that's perfectly valid. There's a lot of people that like, even though a lot of people have a style that they stick to, there's a lot of people that don't, and like all like edit things differently based on the venue or the band and stuff like that. So
right, you have to go with the vibe. It's all about that. Like, what's the band playing? What kind of music is this? What kind of lights am I working with, you know?
Yeah. Like, I work with one band that they like everything desaturated, and everything that I like is super saturated and like contrasted. So it's like whenever I work with them, I have like, it's like my sliders go in the other direction in Lightroom, because I just like have to get used to the fact that I'm like, oh yeah, they
this
like
is
it
what
this
the client
way.
wants. The client gets what they want. Yeah,
exactly. What's your favorite show that you've ever photographed?
That's a great question, and I've been trying to think of that for a while. Like, there's been so many shows.
Yeah. What are some fun ones that come top to mind?
You know what? Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, like Knotfest was so fun.
Marilyn Manson is a definite, like, bucket list band for me. I've never photographed him.
I shot Avenged Sevenfold, and, you know, in this moment, it's actually pretty freaking fun to shoot with all their cinematics and all that. Like, I love when bands have that because it just makes a shoot so much more fun. Like, you want to edit every single photo. It's just so much fun. Maybe, like, Meshuggah. There's been too many bands. I really love a lot of, like, the bigger bands, like Slipknot and stuff like that. Those are the fun ones. Although I do love smaller bands too, like I am a big fan of like The Word Alive, so I love shooting every one of their shows because they're so crazy on stage. Sean, you know, there's too many bands.
Nice. Do you have a bucket list for shows that you want to shoot?
Panic at the Disco. If I can shoot Brendan Urie, I will die happy. That is just, that's been my bucket list show forever. Nice. That's my favorite band of all time.
Were you, kind of off topic, but in the same realm of bands to me, were you planning on or hoping to shoot My Chemical Romance when they came?
Yes. Okay, so
because that would have been this week, I think. That they were here.
I got tickets to Vegas, and then so I don't know if I'm really like allowed to say this, but you know what? I'm gonna do it anyways because it didn't happen because of COVID. So screw you, COVID. But so spoiler alert for we haven't gone over this, but I work at the Whisky and all that. I book bands there, and then so when CAA came in with Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy and rented out the venue, that was a huge success. And like then MCR had a show booked in May to do something at the Whisky, and that was my chance to finally like see them live and maybe even shoot them and all this and that for free, you know? And then COVID struck.
Yeah.
So my heart was completely shattered.
Yeah. I was like, at the beginning of COVID, I was thinking that show, or the MCR tour was still going to happen because I was like, oh, it's in like October. Like, it'll totally be fine by then.
It'll totally happen. Everything's going to be normal.
Everything's going to be fine by then. It's not fine, guys. It's not fine.
My heart. I'm not okay.
Speaking of COVID, we might as well just address this question right now because I really am curious about like what other people are doing during this time because it's obviously freaking hard for all of us creatives, especially if we can't go out and do shows. So like, what are you currently doing to like stay busy? How are you doing during all of this?
You know, I can't really do like much, I guess. You know, we can't really do much. Currently, I lost my job, obviously, like, everything sucks kind of deal. But I'm, like, a babysitter right now for this kid. I don't want to disclose too much information on it, but the dad's a musician, so that's pretty cool that I still get to, like, have some sort of connection there with a musician. It makes life a little more normal during this time, getting that, like, okay, I still work in the music business, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
As for, like, creative stuff, I really haven't done much, like, camera stuff, but I have been doing a lot more, like, other arts and crafts stuff. But I recently shot a wedding.
Nice.
It was honestly, it was just a lot of work, and it was crazy. Like, I would not recommend shooting a wedding during COVID because, like, after that, I was, like, so nervous. Like, oh my gosh, do I have COVID? Like, I don't know. Like, and then I got tested, and then it took, like, 48 hours for the results, and I was, like, freaking out. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, I didn't have any symptoms, but I was, like, still freaking out. But it's been a little hard during this. I'm not going to lie. And, like, it's been really hard trying to pick up my camera. In the early stages, I was photographing my boyfriend because he's a musician and he needs, like, photos because he doesn't have any kind of, like, presence on social media. So I've been trying to help him with that. That's been my, like, creative task. Like, okay, take photos of you and post them, basically. That's pretty much it, though.
Yeah. It is kind of, like, there is something to say about, like, how hard it is to be creative during all of this, and, like, even pick up your camera when you know that, like, the opportunities for other things are gone. That's what I've noticed, at least for me, is, like, I want to pick up my camera and go to a concert, and then I'm like, well, I know that I should be picking up my camera to keep my skills sharp and, like, do things, but I'm like, no, I don't want to because I'm sad that I don't have concerts. It's like this weird, like, I don't know, like, never-ending loop. I'm like, this sucks. But I'm sorry to hear about your situation. I know that it is really difficult at this time, and one of the things I wanted to do with this podcast is just, like, talk about it, because I know that a lot of people are going through it right now, and, like, have people hear that, like, you're not alone. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to make it work. We're trying to do what we can and everything, and hear, like, what people are doing. So it's nice to, like, also hear from other creatives and just be, like, feeling like we're back in the photo pit, I guess, because I'm seeing everyone's faces. So it's definitely a hard time right now. How was, like, shooting a wedding, though? You were saying that, like, with COVID, it's just, like, totally different. Are you hoping to do more of that, or you're like, no, I don't?
No. I'm not gonna, because it was just a lot harder to organize an event in a backyard, such, like, a big event, you know, in a, not a small backyard, but it's just not the same as, like, a regular wedding, whereas everything's planned out, everything has a timesheet, you're at a venue, and things
messy, almost.
Way easier. Yeah, it was a little messy, pretty much,
So let's hop back to, like, kind of your career and, like, what your goals are and stuff for music photography, because I love talking about, like, what other people want to do with their careers and stuff. So, like, when it comes to you, what are your, like, ideal goals for, like, a music photography career or a music industry career? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish, and, like, any goals and ideas there?
You know, my dream used to be, like, a touring photographer, but that's honestly so hard. I don't know why it's so hard, but it is, like, trying to find a band that'll take you on the road. I don't know. So I kind of gave that up and kind of want to go more into, like, industry stuff ever since, like, I was an intern at Sumerian back in the day. I kind of learned a little bit there, kind of developed a sense for, like, the industry and what I wanted to do, and working at the Whisky, it's kind of like my foot into the direction, like, of where I want to be and where I want to go. So as for, like, my goal, I was trying to do CAA. I was trying to, like, get there and work there possibly. Some bigger kind of, like, executive company like that, or Crush Music, kind of get into maybe artist management or, like, A&R, or, you know, but it's a little hard because I didn't go to college for this. But I mean, It's a little hard due to that, and I'm on the verge of like trying to go back, thinking of going back, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying to do that because then you're like, oh, well, you have to do all these classes to do these. Like, no, and I don't want to pay for Musicians Institute because I hear that's a complete ripoff. So I'm kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. So it's just kind of, we'll see what happens after COVID and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, at least I work at the Whisky, and there's plenty of other opportunities for me. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to stay in LA for forever, so we'll see. I'm born and raised here. I'm trying to see what my other options are, so it's kind of expensive.
Yeah. So you've lived in LA your whole life?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like trying out different markets and different areas is always like a fun idea, but that's just like my personal preference.
Well, I've been looking into like maybe San Antonio or Austin because I know like Texas has a great music scene.
That's true.
So if I'm gonna go anywhere, it's probably gonna be Texas.
Nice. Yeah, I mean Austin is a big deal in music, but I've always liked Nashville. Nashville has tempted me for years.
Yeah, Nashville's got a great music industry scene and all that. My boyfriend is kind of like, I don't want to go to Nashville. I'd rather do Texas.
Yeah. Well, battle it out with him and see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see. So you mentioned working at the Whisky. Let's dive into that a little bit because I'd love to hear about like what your job entails, like how you landed that, and like what it's kind of done for you.
So funny enough, I landed the job because I saw the Whisky, I think they posted about it, or somebody, I think it was Heather Coop. I don't know if you know her, but she shared a post like saying like, oh, I totally get like try for this job if I didn't live so far. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna apply, you know. So I shoot my shot, and I got an interview like pretty fast after that, and they kind of pretty much hired me on the spot. I went in wearing a Linkin Park shirt. We talked about Linkin Park, me and my boss. Like, oh yeah, you like Linkin Park? Like, they played here like way back in the day. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. And then he's like, oh, you worked at Sumerian, you pretty much know your shit, kind of thing, is basically what they always tell me. So it was pretty easy for me to get the job because I guess of all like the stuff I have in my background, being a photographer, working at Sumerian. So that was a slice of cake. As for what I do there, I book a lot of the shows. My main job there is to book the locals that want to support like the headliners or just book local band nights, you know. It's not the easiest job in the world. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's not easy due to the fact, like, it is, like, pay to play, and it's very looked down upon, and then people shoot me, and I'm just the messenger. I don't make the rules, you know? And it can be a little disheartening when people, like, do that, but I have to take it with a grain of salt and just keep going. But other than that, I also kind of book bigger bands. Like, back in January, I booked Javier Reyes of Animals as Leaders, his side project, Misties, and that was a huge success. It was like sold out, all that. It was awesome, and so I'm trying to bring more relevant bands into there because it's a lot of like 80s stuff, and you know, some of that does well, but a lot of it's just like, where's the younger generation? You know, you need to please both audiences, the older and the younger. So that's what I want to do there. Try and bring in more of like the younger stuff. And right before COVID hit, actually, I was about to get Craig Owens to do a drugs show there. Destroy Rebuild Until God Shows. He's just restarted that band. and I was like, oh, it would be an instant sellout, and then COVID. So, but I pitch a lot of that, like the ideas to my bosses of like who they should like reach out to and book. I'm not necessarily allowed to email the agents. I used to be, but because of somebody, a past coworker, I lost that opportunity. So it's been a little hard because it's like, let me just reach out to this, and and then it sucks. So, but it is what it is. It's still great. Yeah, I mean it's an awesome job. I love it, and I really miss it right now.
Yeah, nice. Has that like gig and working there, has that like opened any doors or opportunities for you? Do you think that it's helped you like move your like photography career forward, stuff like that?
As for opening doors, it's definitely, I wouldn't say it hasn't. I've definitely made a lot more connections with it, and uh it's great. It's super fun. I got to like network with all these bands and stuff,
Yeah.
and be like, well, that Mystique show that I put on, I had to like do the guest list, and you can only imagine how many of like those metal like prog artists came out, and to be like networking with them at my show, like I would go up to them and be like, hey, like let's book a show, because like after that show it was like, oh, we really want to play here, like this was a good show. So it's definitely opened a lot of opportunities for me, and like booking bigger bands, like in that sense. As for my photography, I wouldn't say it's really changed much. I mean, I've gotten a few gigs out of it, but I honestly don't market myself enough. I will give myself that downfall, that I'm really like bad at marketing myself in that sense, like because my job is like market the shows, do this, do that. Like I'm just so focused on trying to fill up all of these shows in the month that I have no time to like make
Focus
a post
on
about,
you.
hey,
Yeah.
like, hey, I do photos. So it's because I don't want to take away from like the important posts, like, okay, my job, I need to get this booked and this booked. So I don't want to take away from this post and this post saying like I do this too. So yeah, it's a little harder, but I'm not too focused on the photography. I'm mostly just trying to focus on more of like moving up in my career life, pretty much.
Yeah. Nice. Do you have any tips for anyone who may be like looking into working at a venue and like getting started at venues?
Just kind of go in there and be knowledgeable about the music. Please don't fake it till you make it, because it's not that kind of job, and it's so just unprofessional, because I had a coworker in the past. He was a complete slob, and he basically faked it till he made it, and then he was just a whole headache. A slob, a disgusting person, thought he knew stuff, didn't know anything. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you're knowledgeable in music and like marketing. That's it. Just don't fake it.
Nice. Hopping over back to like photo video work, I know that you do both photo and video. How did you get into the video side of it? And like, do you normally do like both when it comes to like concerts, or do you normally focus on photo or video for live stuff? Like, what's your background when it comes to photo and video?
So I'm definitely more confident and better at photo than I am video. I got into video I went to West Valley Occupational Center and did classes there to like learn like video production and all this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great class. It was cool. It helped me a lot. Taught me how to like do the video part because I didn't know, and then taught me like editing on Final Cut Pro. I do prefer photo. I'm definitely a lot better at that and editing photos than I am at videos.
Mm.
And video is just a lot more time consuming, so
yeah, it is.
It's just really hard to find the time and the patience to do it because and it's just like at the last photo job I had, the production company, I was editing like a lot of videos and they're like, no, you're not good at this. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not that great at it, so I'll stick to what I know. At shows I just do photos. I don't really try and do video because unless it's like I have all access or like more than 3 songs access type of thing, which usually only happens at like certain shows, maybe like Sumerian shows or something because I worked there. But that's it. I really just try and focus on photo.
Yeah. I totally get it because I feel like the same. I want to get more into doing video because I think that people that do it, like, I've seen some amazing live videos that I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And I get like really motivated and then I'm like, I need a lot of practice and that takes a lot of time. And I was just
exactly.
Like,
it's
okay.
It's harder than it looks.
I love, like, there's a few concert, like, video people out there that I follow and I'm obsessed with.
Right.
Them and their work. And I, like, appreciate the hustle, totally understand what they're doing. And I'm like, you know what? I will just recommend people to you because I can't do that. But I'm trying. It's fun. It's actually, like, really nice right now for me to, like, try it. So I've taken like old videos that I have and I'm like trying to work on editing them in my free time, but video's a whole beast by itself. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, so one question that I love asking in this podcast is about prejudices and sexism. And the reason I ask this is because I've struggled with it and I like hearing from other people about experiences they've had, and then also to share that with people that are getting started in the industry so they know that it's like not just them or like what they've like. Just hearing journeys, I think, in the music industry is really important. So I wanted to ask you if you've ever experienced any, like, prejudices or sexism from working in the industry, and if so, can you talk about it?
I won't name names or get into any details, but...
Yeah, that's probably best.
The whole touring photographer, like, dream I had was crushed, like, I feel like because I'm a girl. Because I'm a female, and, like, they're all dudes. And a certain band, like, I thought I might have had a chance to tour with, like, one of them, like, kept flirting with me, and I wasn't taking it. Like, I was, like, not interested. Like, I didn't flirt back. I was just friendly, you know, just trying to be a buddy.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that was like the reason I didn't get to go on tour. Which sucks. I don't know. Other than that, I've never really had many like problems. I mean, at Sumerian it was cool because my boss there, Amanda, is like the COO. So she's a female, so it was very oriented of the females there. But, I mean, sometimes at the Whisky, I do have a little problems because I'm younger and I'm a female. But it's not like a horrible thing, I guess. Not like super something I could like talk about like super in depth with.
Yeah. The kind of going back to the touring part of it, I've heard that a lot. Is like, you know, if you're going on tour with a bunch of dudes, like, first of all, are you going to be comfortable going? And then, like, secondly, are they being cool about it? And I think there's also a push to, like, have more women in bands specifically for that. Because it's like, look, you need, you know, like, a equal standard here for people to feel safe, which is kind of a strange way of viewing it, but I totally understand that, like, if a band is being weird and uncomfortable about it, it's like, yeah, you don't want to tour with them. So, like, how many doors does that open for you if you're looking for, like, only female bands, and then there's so much pressure for other women photographers to go, you know, with women bands. It's kind of an interesting topic and a hard balance to find.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So.
That's why I stay local. I only do local stuff. I've never really dreamed of touring, but it is very frustrating to hear that, like, your goals and stuff that you wanted to tour, and that's, like,
never got an opportunity at all.
Yeah. Who knows? Once we come out of COVID, maybe everything's gonna be looking up. You'll get offers handed to you left and right about touring opportunities.
We'll see. Or if my boyfriend ever gets into like a successful band, then he'll have to take me.
Yeah, we'll manifest that shit.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so to wrap this up on a positive, upbeat note, I always love asking, like, the best piece of advice that you've received or that you'd love to pass on for everyone that's listening. Like, what's the one thing that you would like to tell them?
The way you talk to people will get you somewhere. Respect is earned when it's given. Just be mindful of, like, how you talk to people and what you say, and just be nice, be friendly, and it'll get you places. Be positive. Don't be negative. If you radiate happiness and positivity, it'll help. Yeah. You know? And that's pretty much all I can think of.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first time that I asked this question, the answer was, like, don't be a dick. And that has, like, that has come up in, like, everyone's like, be nice, it gets you places. Like, everyone wants to have fun in this industry and, like, work with people who are happy and upbeat and all of that. So that's great advice. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am kind of bummed that, like, I've never shared the pit with you, I don't think, in person. And I'm like, so. I feel like I'm meeting so many people that I've, like, known forever online through this podcast, that I'm like, oh, I finally get to sit down and talk to you. So thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. But before we end this, can you give a quick shout out where people can find you and follow your work?
I guess my Instagram would be the easiest. It's at Talia Farber Media. That's pretty much where I'm mostly active, because I'm trying not to give out my Facebook too much.
Cool. And for everyone that's listening, I do put links in the description of this podcast, so you can find that link to Talia's Instagram there. So please go check it out and send her some love. And Talia, thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun with you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And hopefully we get to share the pit together once we're out of this COVID time.
Oh my gosh, I hope.
So
I hope we get to shoot MCR together.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Once we get out of this, we'll shoot MCR at the Whisky. We'll put on our own show there.
Screw it.
I love it. So I will hopefully see you in the pit soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.